Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Sunday, April 14th. We're going to take a look at Workhorse today. So Workhorse sort of caught my eye and, put me back to wondering, what hope is there left? I mean, this is the zoomed out chart. Now, even if we take $42, $43 out of the picture, running up here into the high 20s and then, just drawdown after drawdown after drawdown, now just being, as low as you go, at least so far as Workhorse is considered, and just had me wondering, what's the option here? Like, where does this go? Obviously, many EVs have had a pretty rough year or a couple of years in stock price, and Workhorse has been no exception to that. And, chart-wise, there's just not a lot to go off of in terms of more downside action, right? So we have this 21 level that I put in. Can it regain that, flip it from resistance to support? And if so, then can it start to trudge toward 23, which I know it seems silly to have 21 and then 23, but you think of the percentage change on that, and it's actually a pretty big percentage change. So we have a lot of stops along the way here in the 20s that it's sort of shown has at least decently strong support and resistance through some, fairly thin price action to base it off of. So that's can be kind of questionable how strong those levels are. But even to get back through the 20s, there's so many levels to get through. So it sort of had me wondering, short of some really important or impressive catalyst or series of catalysts, what's the opportunity here chart-wise? There's just not a lot to go off of. So to my mind, when we kind of get in the situation, I kind of leave it up to the sentiment and the news cycle. Unless there can be something that's really compelling that can change the sentiment around Workhorse and get people and bulls interested, institutions, so on and so forth, the chart's not going to offer really much or any solace, if you will, or even a clear path back to anything. And also, like, when we see stocks like this, my question becomes, what does recovery even look like at this point? You could say, could Workhorse recover? What does that even mean? I mean, get back to 50 cents, get back to $1, get back to $10? Like, I don't even know what the goalpost would be there. So to my mind, it would need some clear, true, fundamental sentiment, news cycle, catalyst, sort of cascade, a series of things that sort of stabilize it and try to turn it around. But to my mind, if that's going to result in anything meaningful, that's going to have to play out consistently over a period of time. And, these levels will play a role as they play a role. But again, short of that coming into play, they're not even going to be huge factors in and of themselves, in my opinion. On the think or swim side of things, this gives us a little bit more to go off of because this channel is dynamic, so it continues to put in, bounds and its own levels within the channel and outside of the channel as we go. So we see back here a lengthy trigger and fire led to a drawdown here from, we could just call it like 33 cents or so, down now to 19. We had a new trigger and fire in the midst of that just sort of like confirmed and carried on the pattern. And so no new trigger and fire yet, but you just see how sort of lengthy and deep these histogram areas are for the bears, and then how just sort of, I don't know what to call it, pathetic. I don't mean that to sound overly harsh, but just, comparatively, the difference between the brevity and the lack of intensity of the bullish areas of the histogram versus the bearish. I just feel like when we start to see this play out, and it just is seemingly a runaway train, if you will, again, short of meaningful, consistent prolonged catalysts, turning sentiment, and then that turning into chart patterns. I don't really know what else to go off of or why. So that's what I'm looking at for now. For what it's worth, the lower bound of the channel right now, can't really tell because it's sort of over it, but it's looks like to be around 1830 or so. Mid-range 22.5, so that feels pretty far away again, unless something were to really bolster the stock. And then 26.65 is the upper bound of the channel. So we'll see how this takes shape, but it's just it's giving me the willies a little bit to look at it, and I don't really know what else to say from a performance or sentiment or chart perspective. But those are my 2 cents, or my 19 cents, I guess we could say. All right, folks, I hope that you've had a nice weekend, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.